So if you're watching today, it might be a synchronicity, not a coincidence that you're watching today. And we're coming again today at Activate Your Prosperous Life live stream series. It is connected to a bigger summit, a summit where these speakers and others, up to 33 speakers, including myself, are activating our prosperous lives. We're giving you our teachings, our wisdom, free gifts, VIP gifts, our time, our energy, our commitment. And we're bringing you an opportunity to line up with what you've been dreaming about, what's been on your vision boards, what's been in the background from the beginning for you, what you've always known you're meant to do. That's what this summit's about. It's about guiding you to the path that you have been creating and being a support team for you. So this summit is a support portal for you that can help you activate, like do easily without, a lot of effort. We're not just teaching here, we're also implementing, and part of being on the live stream here is going deep into conversations. And one of the conversations we're having today is the synchronicity frequency, how the universe speaks to you when you're listening, and how to determine how you can notice it, So I'm going to go around the circle here, and you still have time to activate your prosperous life and register for the summit and receive these interviews into your inbox and we're making it really easy for you to get connected with us. Irina, tell us about you and the synchronicity we're in right now today. There's a big one.
Yes, thank you so much. So my name is Irina Portnova, and I call myself Manifestation Star because I manifested crazy things in my life that when I tell people stories, they can't believe. And trust me, I did not believe until I received it. And that's why I teach people consciously how to manifest exactly what we want, because we are manifesting all the time, regardless, right? We are manifesting with every breath that we are taking. Whatever we keep in our mind, whatever we are saying, whatever we are doing, everything manifests in the physical reality. And I love to work, especially with the coaches, business owners, because I show them how collaborations are powerful in order to grow the business, to grow that cash, because I love to manifest cash. That's my biggest gift. And this is something I love to teach others how to do it effortlessly and with joy. And as far as today's date, Jennifer, yes, today represents the beginning of something very powerful and mysterious, because again, we can't deny that the energy is real. So today is that 111 alignment, which means we are in January, which is month one. Also, this is one universal date, because if we take 126 2026 and add every digit, we come up with one. And also this year is 2026, which is 1 year. So it actually creates that rare cosmic phenomena where new beginnings start merging with discoveries and our openings. So this is something very unique, because the next day like that is going to be happening only in 2035. So my question is to everybody who's tuning in: are you ready to receive what the universe has in store for you, or you're just going to be sitting and watching? And my answer is yes. Let's just embrace that portal, the energies, and manifest something big, something breathtaking, and something worthy of living.
Yeah, I love that. And we are co-creating it. We are coming together today. It is a synchronicity that we're all coming together on this powerful day. And it was Amani who inspired this talk title. She said, let's talk about synchronicity. So funny that I picked it for today. Trisha, tell us a little bit about you and your work and how synchronicity blends.
Yeah. So synchronicity to me is a very powerful thing. And I think you're more open to it whenever you are open to receive, like Irina said, right? But I think whenever you're more open to receive, or the way to become more open to receiving those signs or whatever you want to call them, is really creating that divine connection. And so you can do that obviously like through meditation and just really knowing that, we have a creator and that we are co-creating with our creator. And so they're like basically like working through us to create these beautiful life experiences. And synchronicities typically show up for me with like, it's super interesting. Like it's usually I'll hear somebody saying a word and I happen to be reading that same exact word at the same exact time that somebody had said it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And you just really notice that word, right? So I think that that's where they really show up in my life. And I mean, I think just like a lot of things are synchronicities. Miracles is my word for this year. And I feel like you can even think of them as miracles because the people that are going to show up in your life are meant to be there for some purpose. And so whether that's like we've niched down to really only helping coaches, and I always say technology is my superpower. So we help coaches in so many different ways, and mentors and consultants, call them whatever you want. Coaches, right, is like the grand term of what all of us here do. And so it's just amazing to see who's going to show up in your life. So I love the word synchronicity.
Yeah. Can I just add something? Synchronicity, because I just heard Trisha's word of the year, miracles. It's exactly what I picked for this year. So here we go, just synchronicities. We can't make it up.
Right? No, we can't make it up. But we are making it up because we're connected to it. It's all working together. Amy, tell us about synchronicities with your work and what you do.
Yes, hello everyone. I am Amy Shade. I am the creator of the Radical Embodiment Method, and I really support women in their life. This is one of the big things around synchronicity is that the embodiment aspect, how we must tap into our own energies to feel and understand that our energy here doesn't just stop here. There's the higher energy, there's the physical energy, there's other people's energies, and how we navigate our life, understanding that first and foremost, we are the creator of our own life, so that we can shift energies when we are out of sync, when we are feeling out of sync. There are ways to, with embodiment and hooking up to something higher than yourself, oftentimes, to shift the energies so we create more now I'm going to have a hard time with that word. Create more sync, right? To create more connection, to create more happenings. Oftentimes we are in our own way through the blocks and pains and fears and anxieties we hold in our body that do not allow us to really find the miracles, find the things that click, understand that maybe this is not the day that you go out into the world. Maybe it's the day you go inward and really reflect on yourself and really shift the energies inside of yourself. So I am a women's empowerment coach. I do help women get back to self through embodiment, through that inner voice, through that understanding of self, to become the creator of their own life. And to that way, you can sync more higher in frequency with the outside world.
Yes. Yeah. I loved how you put it. Yeah. And these big words, sometimes we get tongue twisted and fumble on them, but in sync, like syncing up, docking in, connecting, alignment, all related. Connie, tell us about synchronicity in your work and what you do.
So I'm Connie Pertula, the Menopause Navigator, and I'm also a certified nutritional practitioner. And so, yeah, I work with women who are navigating the stages of menopause. And there's so many things here when you talk about synchronicity, because synchronicity, if I hadn't been listening, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I received that message from the universe that I was to study nutrition. And I asked the universe to make it really loud so I didn't miss the message. so it made it loud and I was listening. So that was awesome. So I do love what I do. But when you talk about synchronicity, when we think about the human body, everything in the human body is synchronicity. Everything works together. The food that we eat and the type of food that we eat, that nourishes our body. And then our body takes that and it starts to break it down to be able to utilize it to make hormones and make blood and all those types of things. Our brain and our lungs work together to keep us alive. So when you think about the human body, it is all about synchronicity. And that's the part that really excites me about working with women. And sometimes I really geek out on how the human body works together, that, one component affects another component. If they're not talking together, then that's when we just don't feel great. So I totally recognize what you're saying, Amy, with respect to energy, but then as well too, just going in and listening. Hey, body, like, what do you need? What am I not giving you? What do I need to pay attention to? So synchronicity in my life is big, definitely.
And your body might be giving you signs that you're not in sync too. I've had many of those signs. But it also guides you. Like there's two sides to synchronicity. There's the side that is positive and you're like, ooh, miracle, miracle, miracle. But then there's like, ooh, that's not working. That's not working. That's not working. It's kind of like you use it as a guide. You can use it as a guide because when you're asking for help, you sometimes need to be shown what's not working at the same time too, so that you can see what does work. And the other thing about miracle, we are miracles. This is the whole miracle. Your life is a miracle. To have a body is a miracle. And so when we really decide to connect with it and get in tune with it and in touch with it and listen to it more, the miracles expand. The miracles expand. Lisa, you work with the whole world of synchronicity, I would say, in your work. Tell us more about that and unmute yourself.
Thanks for that reminder. I would have forgotten. My name is Lisa Bartoshevich. I am a master apitherapist, which means I work with the honeybees for healing. The bees are, I could talk about them all day. They are tremendous healers. Before we came on today, we were talking about royal jelly and that they literally create liquid gold, honey. They create all these products in their hive. And clients come to me usually as a last resort. It's like what you were talking about, Jennifer, where you're not in the miracle side of things. You're on the other side of the spectrum. Everything's going wrong. You feel the furthest from your truest self. People find their way to my practice. And the bees have a beautiful way of bringing all of our bodies, systems into balance with every single one of their products. And then just being in the vicinity is healing, hearing that hum. As I was listening to all of you ladies, I was hearing the how alignment is so closely related to synchronicity, right? When we're feeling like our truest selves, when we're listening, when we're in alignment, the bees are guides and allies to get us back into that place. And they bring the light back. And, when you see a person that's looking like they're lacking luster in their skin, their eyes are a little dull, and you can tell the difference between someone who's glowing and you can literally see the light pouring out of their eyes. And when you're coming from that place, that is when you draw things to you. Everything's attracted to light. So that is a little bit about me and my work with the bees. And
we'll have more. You'll get to go again. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go 2 rounds here. Mm-hmm. Leah, tell us more about your work and how synchronicity and your creative art sync up. And unmute yourself. Or I can do it for you. Okay, there. Now you're unmuted. Okay, go.
I was going to say, well, and hopefully my internet's working, so at least you can hear me. I seem to be delayed moving. For me, synchronicity comes deeply through the intuitive painting process that I teach and utilize to help people really connect with all of the things everyone's talking about, right? And connect to that divine within. And it's fascinating when we arrive at a canvas, or we arrive at a piece of paper, or we arrive anywhere to create something with the intention of solely activating our observer and connecting with the divine, and not trying to specifically create anything, but allowing the divine to flow through us through that creativity. Time and time again, things arrive in my paintings or creations, or my students' paintings or creations or clients, that are signs, and they're animals, they're plants, they're different elements and messages from the divine. And then you notice those things consistently in your life that just arrive. I mean, for me, a butterfly is a huge sign of transformation, of that catalyst of how we put ourselves in a chrysalis and come out different and morphed and changed. And over again, without any effort, butterflies arrive in my paintings. And so it's taking that message that constantly keeps arriving without effort as a sign that I'm on the right path, and then being inspired by that. And so the work that I do really allows that opportunity to open that channel to the divine and receive those messages, to which we see then in lots of places in our life.
Yeah. So it might be a synchronicity that you're watching this live stream right now. And maybe you've seen this live stream pass by your feed multiple times throughout the month of January. Maybe there's a message there for you. Maybe it's showing you to tune in. Maybe it's showing you to watch. Maybe it's lean in more to the support that you're asking for. Sometimes when we're asking for things, we don't see the answer right in front of us, because we're not used to looking. And so it takes a little bit of a practice to ask for what you want, and then watch, like sit back and let it come to you, open up to receive it. Imani, I'm curious, because this was your request for the title, like what for the topic that we talk on. Tell us more about you and synchronicity.
You know, as I mentioned before in a couple of the talks that we've done live, the universe is a mirror. It's reflecting back to us what's going on within you. And so when you are spending time going inward and connecting with the divine, trusting your authentic desires or inspired actions, this is going to be reflected in what happens outside of you. It's this match of the external with your internal. And I love how the universe is just magnificently reflecting back to us what's happening within us. And so my experience, and what I like to teach my clients to notice, is how the universe is reflecting back to you. And synchronicity is a beautiful confirmation or expression from the universe of validation of what you are choosing on the inside. And I love how that works. I remember an experience where I wanted to make a decision with my son about which program he was going to go to, a special program for basketball. Which school? Was it going to be in Orangeville, or was it going to be in the United States? And we're discussing this, and this car pulls up in front of us with this, the license plate has the words around it, Orangeville. And I'm like, hello. Isn't this a beautiful message, right? And it's lovely. I even remember a time I just met this woman who I seemed so aligned with, and we were in this car driving, and we kept seeing what's called angel numbers, 111, 333, 444, 888, 555. And when we were seeing it after the third time, we just started laughing, like this synchronicity, this energy that's coming up. We stopped counting. We seen those numbers showing up the entire time we spent time together. And when we arrived at our destination, the photographer that we were meeting said, "Oh, are you guys best friends?" And we're looking at each other like, we just met, but we were glowing, that energy that you were talking about with the bees, right? We were glowing with this synchronicity of meeting someone that you aligned with. and this person being a reflection of how you were showing up in the world, and these numbers just showing up as synchronicity to affirm what we were feeling. The universe is a beautiful mirror, and synchronicity, when you're in that alignment and frequency or coherence with what you desire and your glow, synchronicity is a beautiful way. The universe shows up as synchronicity, and that's how I like my clients to recognize for themselves when we're working together.
I love it. And this whole summit for me has been synchronistic and no coincidence, because I love it because it creates surprise, but it's like elevated surprise in the sense of I'm creating it with the intention of bringing all these co-collaborators, co-creators, master teachers, facilitators, coaches, mentors to come together so that we can really shine and do something together, which is a little bit beyond what I'm imagining because it's bigger than I can imagine. But the intention is to activate the prosperity consciousness on the planet for me. And then I get people calling me out of the blue, the speakers, can I come on today? Can I come on the live stream today? Like without trying to, I don't have to effort too much. It's just really natural and really, I don't have to attach to any outcomes. It's just holding that intention. And I think when we get on this live stream, we start playing off of each other, like playing together. It's like being in a beautiful playground of miracles and co-creation. It's a beautiful garden we're creating, and I'm so excited. And you're invited to this garden to play with us. You're invited to come into this frequency of elevated prosperity, higher consciousness, wisdom, alignment, stepping onto your path of prosperity. So like when Imani was saying, all of those signs were like, they're kind of like runway guardrails almost. They're like, yeah, you're on the path. You're heading down the road. You're in it. And so you can decide to even elevate that and register for the summit instead of just watching the live streams, because these interviews are gold. They're like liquid gold right to your email address. And you can even elevate again. You can go into the VIP portal and have lifetime access to these interviews and get even deeply connected with the people. Come into our VIP activation calls. Come into receiving their VIP gifts, which are super valuable. And it's only $67 to get into the VIP room right now. And you're getting like $67,000 worth of value. That's what I feel like it is. Anyway, I'm going to go around again. Irina, tell us about your talk. It's Manifest Cash on Demand and how synchronicity and manifestation are closely intertwined.
I just wanted to add a quick thing about the VIPs. Today is that energetic day when you want to open that portal for more wealth and prosperity. So if you're hearing this message is for you. Stop doubting yourself, stop overthinking, just go purchase and know that you're already in that currency, in that beautiful flow of abundance, and you are all connected because we are all one. And as far as my talk, I was just remembering when I had my challenge, Cash Flow Glow. And after that, we had Manifest Cash in 30 Days. Jennifer, I remember like one day I stumbled upon a penny like on the floor in my house. I'm like, okay, this is the synchronicity. It's just saying that we are on the right path, right? 2 days later, another penny also inside my pocket in the jacket, right? So the idea is if we train our brain to really pick up on these cues, they become so obvious, and then we can see them everywhere. It could be on the billboard. It could be when two people are communicating and you hear the answer, right? Again, we are just activating our reticular activating system, which is whatever we are focusing our mind is going to expand. So we are here all talking about let's focus on something great. Let's focus on something good. That's why I always say manifest cash is easy as manifest the parking or manifest that cup of coffee. The more you trust that process, the better you become at it. And of course, I'm here for anybody who wants to experience it with me.
Exactly. And so whatever you do focus on does grow and it does manifest. So you want to, if you've been focusing on the negative, if you've been focusing on debt or not having enough, you want to guide your attention over to the prosperity flow. It is a currency. Money is currency. It's a current that you get into, and you start small and you just graduate. And when you hang around people who are hanging out in that current, it's easier to stay in the current too, and to elevate from there. Amy, embodied motivation, let your values, vision, and passion lead the way. Totally synchronistic, your talk title.
Yes. Yes. So again, as an embodiment coach and someone who has been a dancer her whole life, and it has learned that through movement, you can release what we suppress. We suppress our voice. We suppress anger. We suppress joy. We suppress abundance, or we suppress and repress our feelings. And when we have those repression living in our body, the embodiment aspect of it allows us to release it through movement and through expression. So if I am feeling lonely or I'm feeling sad, and we all could do this, is create movement to release and express what's living in our body so that it comes out of us. And it's interesting because within our body, two things can exist at the same time. You can have this feeling of loss and a feeling of hope at the same time. So our bodies are very beautiful expressions of our emotions and of our energy. And we get to choose which one we want to focus on and which one we want to move through. And so this is how we become more in sync with ourselves and with the higher energies that are outside of ourselves. And so it's very important, in my belief, that we must go inward to release through movement, through chakra clearing, through energy clearing, to allow what we feel inside of our body that we are repressing, to let it be, let it out, let it be expressed so we can move on from it and create something else.
Yes. Yeah. And see how we're moving through this conversation. Even we're moving energy. And I was reading up, I was geeking out on my soul blueprint and why I came here and why I created this summit before I came on the call. And I didn't just create a summit and brought people together. I created a portal to activate and to create a change in the world. But we're all just doing it individually. We're all taking our part and playing our part. But as we move together and connect together and communicate together and come together, there's something bigger than I could do alone. And in the comments, we had something about, all alone or all one, somebody put, we're all one together doing this. We've mentioned it before. It's co-creation and it's co-embodiment. It's co-movement. It takes working with mentors like us to actually, implement it too. Doing it on your own is the harder, slower way. And I can attest to that. Like if I was to try and understand what was going on in the reactions of my body and why I'm having hives or allergies and that kind of stuff, and not get any answers from the regular traditional models, when I turned to an expert about it and started following their guidance, things started to change and the body started to be releasing whatever tension or patterns I was holding back in it. And Connie, your talk is the power of menopause. Talk more about the body and synchronicity and listening to it like it's the universe talking to you through it.
Yeah. Something that I looked up the other day, because so many women, there's a general narrative out there that, as women age, we're less apt to get a particular job, or, we're not as visible in society. And so I decided to look up the number of women who have actually really come into their power after age 40 and after age 50, and even some after age 60. There's numerous women. I mean, Brene Brown, she was over, I think she was over 50 when she really, when one of her TED Talks really took off. Vera Wang, very prominent dress designer. So when you talk about synchronicity, that's where I see the power of menopause gives us that opportunity to align with our synchronicity, because, we've paid attention to everybody else before us, right? And menopause is saying, hey, here's an opportunity to pay attention to yourself, to really hone in on what you need. And when we do that, there's so much abundance and so much power that women can step into. But part of that comes with aligning with your body, listening to your body and what it needs. And I think I've said before, Jennifer, I've really seen your power increase since we've been working together, because you're supporting your body in alignment. You're giving it what it needs. And you've, just said no to the things that don't support your body. And you're feeling so much better for it. So it really shows that when we start to listen, there's so much power, and our body just wants to support us. It's here to support us no matter what. So when we give it what it needs, it's like, all right, come on, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah. And there's a spiritual, an energetic, a mental, a physical, an emotional alignment that is required to do your purpose work and be powerful at it and create prosperity doing what you love. That's my tagline. But you have to be willing to get the support where you need it, and where your guidance is guiding you towards. And sometimes we might get stuck in one area, like spirituality or emotional transformation. But then the body starts saying, hey, I need this too, And so you got to come into alignment with everything. That's the sign that I keep receiving in the synchronicity world, is that everything has to come into alignment for us to evolve as human beings. Lisa, the bees are really teaching this type of teaching as well. Your talk is From Fear to Reverence, My Journey into Bee Medicine. What have the bees been teaching you?
I had no idea the bees were such brilliant teachers. When I first experienced them, I was actually in a spiritual ceremony, and I had a vision that felt just as real as sitting here with you ladies today, where the bees came in and they highlighted my greatest wound, and they really just touched it, and I just dissolved into, it just cracked me open. The bees cracked me open, and I've been following them ever since. It's been over a decade now that I've had a relationship with them. And what you were saying, Jennifer, is it also speaks to the relationship with the bees, is that you could do it on your own, and it's so much more powerful to have guides and allies who have crystal clear clarity, because they've been there. And in my talk, I share more about my story, but in my work, I recognize that everybody actually has their own connection with the bees. When I bring up the bees, people's eyes light up. They're like, oh, I love bees. I love bees. And so and my gift in my talk, I created an experience for you to go to the bees, to the bee spirit, to bring their presence into your life, to ask them specific questions, because they're just brilliant. Now, I've enjoyed this talk so much. I have to go, ladies. I'm going to catch the rest of this talk, but thank you so much, Jennifer, for creating this space.
And we'll see you again. I think you're coming back tomorrow.
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow.
Awesome.
Bye, ladies.
Amani, activate your divine abundance ecosystem. Oh, flows right in from the bees synchronistically. Talk more about your talk.
Well, I wish I could have shared with Lisa that I noticed that when I'm doing what I love, the bees start flying around me a lot more than when I'm cranky and frustrated about things, right? As a mother. But yeah, I can definitely relate to synchronicity showing up in my life when I'm tuned in to allowing abundance. And this is what my framework that I introduce in our talk is all about. I've discovered that abundance flows through synchronicity, and synchronicity only activates when you're coherent, when you are in alignment, right? When your inner system is tuned in. And so when your thoughts want one thing and your body feels unsafe, or your actions are driven by urgency, life and the universe is receiving mixed signals, right? So that's when things can be delayed or blocked. But when you're tuning in and aligning and becoming coherent, the world will show the synchronicities to support that you actually are, and show you that you actually are in alignment. And so when you're working in the inner plane, you're embodying, you are taking inspired action. These are all ways that you're becoming into coherence, and synchronicity becomes the delivery system for abundance. So life can respond to what's happening within you. And it's like, when synchronicity happens, it's meaningful for you. It's in tune with what's authentic for you. And so I definitely use my framework to teach clients to recognize that, hey, if things are not flowing and I'm kind of wonky, maybe there's some inner work that needs to happen. But when things are flowing and you're getting these random calls and they're meaningful to what your intentions are and what you've been focused on, that's synchronicity. That's showing you, yes, you're right on your path to prosperity. That's what my VIP offers, showing people how to really tune in and recognize that path.
I love it. And I'm glad you mentioned the VIP, because when you're expanding, there's always that comfort zone that you want to, like, can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? It gets really exciting and a little bit ungrounding as well, too. I can attest to this. It's very exciting for me to be holding this summit, and it is very expansive. And then there's these mini contractions. It's kind of like giving birth to something new, right? And you can get afraid, you can get scared, you can get worried, you can, go back to those old ways. But when you're surrounded with loving, caring guides and allies that you have been hanging out with for a month or like myself, you can realize that you don't have to do this alone. And it really requires a shift, that you don't have to wait till you're ready either. You don't have to wait till you're ready, because the synchronicity is showing you that there's a readiness here already. And you don't have to figure out how you're going to do it. How am I going to get into the VIP? Well, we've made it very inexpensive for you to get into the VIP, to get very valuable gifts, and then find the people that you're resonating with. So you just need to choose. Do I buy that Starbucks? Do I buy those things that I'm always buying for myself? Or do I choose to use that money to come into a bigger container that can create something bigger than I can imagine? And I don't know how it's going to work right now, but I have to decide to take a little step and show the universe that you're listening. So if you've been asking for prosperity, if you've been asking for wealth, you've been asking to find clients, you've been asking to grow your business, this is the button to press. This is the little step to take to the next step for you. And so we'll end there. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be back on Wednesday. The summit is still going. You still have time to get the interviews, and you have time to activate your prosperous life. There'll always be time for you.